cum bine știți, după meciul de sâmbătă cu Tonga, în acest weekend urmează a doua partidă test a stejarilor. Vom juca împotriva echipei din Canada. Alături de mine se află capitanii și antrenorii celor două echipe și domnul președinte Alin Petrache. Vom începe ca de obicei cu scurte declarații ale celor prezenți, după care vă vom oferi posibilitatea de a le adresa întrebări. Domnul președinte, câteva idei despre meciul cu Tonga și despre meciul care ne așteaptă cu Canada.
Bine v-am găsit, bine v-am regăsit. Meciul cu Tonga, din punctul meu de vedere, este istorie. Urmează meciul cu Canada, un meci foarte important, cu o echipă total diferită în ceea ce a fost Tonga pentru noi, cu un joc mult mai agresiv. Sunt niște jucători de pachet, niște jucători duri. Foarte bun monitor și ei, cunoscători ai jocului de rugby. Ne dorim, bineînțeles, victoria, vrem victoria. Echipa noastră intră în teren pentru a câștiga și acest meci. Și încă o dată, principiul nostru și principalul obiectiv al echipei naționale a României este să se califice anul viitor la Cupa Mondială din 2015 din Londra. Mulțumesc!
Ok, mulțumesc și eu. Am să rog pe oaspeții noștri să ne facă câteva declarații înainte de a da cuvântul reprezentanților echipei României. So, coach, a couple of thoughts about this match. No.
Yeah, we are really looking forward to this game. We saw the Romania versus Tonga game, and it was an outstanding win by Romania. We know that they're going to be a big challenge for us. They have a very strong forward pack who will drive a lot. We believe they kick the ball a lot out of their own half. We have to have ways to combat that, and we arrived on Monday and have acclimatised pretty well, I think, and we have another day's training tomorrow, and we're looking forward to having a good performance on Saturday.
Many thanks. Tyler, your thoughts about the match?
Yeah, I think just echo what Kieran said. Basically, they definitely are going to bring a lot up front. The forwards is something we really have to prepare for, and I mean, we've worked on it this week, so hopefully we can take some things from watching that Tonga game, which they played very well, and use that.
Thank you. O să-i dau cuvântul acum antrenorului principal al României, domnul Lin Howells, după care capitanul Mihai Macovei. Lin, a couple of thoughts?
First of all, I'd like to welcome Canada. It's, again, I repeat what I said last week. It's always important that we play against teams above us in the ranking. If we are going to improve, then we have to play these teams. And for us, it's very important that we play against Canada. For me, they're probably the one side that is in form at the moment. You take away the Georgia result, and I think the Canadians are probably the side that's playing very, very well consistently. So it'll be a big challenge for us. A different game, different style of rugby, and that's what we need to put ourselves up against if we're going to improve.
Many thanks. Mihai?
Bună ziua! Să încep prin a mulțumi din partea echipei suporterilor care au fost alături de noi sâmbătă, atât de pe stadion cât și din fața televizorului. Și îi așteptăm sâmbătă să fie alături de noi, pentru că avem mare nevoie de ei pentru această partidă contra echipei din Canada. Despre Canada, ce am văzut la vizionări, este o echipă bine organizată, un pachet de înaintare mare, masiv, care sunt bine organizați în moluri. Noi vrem să facem un joc bun și dacă o să facem ce am făcut la antrenamente, cu siguranță pentru un joc bun o să vină și victoria. Nu pot decât să le urez baftă și sâmbătă să ne vedem pe teren. Mulțumesc!
Mulțumesc și eu, Mac. Dacă aveți întrebări, vă rog.
I think they have a very strong forward pack, like we've already said, and I think they're going to use that definitely to their advantage. As well as the kicking game, we're definitely going to have to be on. They like to clear their own end, and obviously we're going to have to be ready to counter that.
Am și uitat-o, dar a fost sâmbătă după meci, ne-am bucurat și atât. De duminică ne-am gândit la Canada și Tonga a fost în trecut. Contează prezentul pentru noi și vrem de la meci la meci să progresăm și victoria aduce la altă victorie. Cu un sistem bine pus la punct. Tonga a fost o echipă bună individual. Canada nu este chiar așa o echipă individual de bună, dar colectiv au un sistem bun pus la punct și joacă pe sistem, nu individual.
I think we enjoyed Tonga. We enjoyed the result against Tonga. Tonga now is in the past. The next most important thing is that we play against Canada. And we'll be judged on the game that we play against Canada. For me, as I said, Canada play consistently well. They fetch a lot to the game. They have a complete game that is very difficult to defend against. It is our next challenge. And what we have to do is produce the rugby to be able to compete with us. And hopefully we can get the result at the end of it.
Kieran, what was the main cause of the defeat in your brief analysis against Georgia? Where did you lose the match?
They scored more points than us.
Oh, that's very
I mean, yeah, that, like Lynn just said about the Tonga game, I mean, Georgia game for us is, in the past, yeah, we just didn't convert opportunities we had. We got beaten up a little bit in the 36th minute and we lost 4 guys in that particular movement. And, you know, no matter how structured that you are, you know, that's a challenge. And when you play teams at home, particularly, you know, some countries more particular than others, you know, once they get their tails in the air and you let them in the game and they have a sniff, well then it's pretty hard to get back into the game, and we found that in that particular game. But that was dealt with as far as review and all that went, and that's in the past now, and our objective is to get our players fit again. We have a few challenges around a few players around injuries, so some decisions won't be made until tomorrow and Friday on that, but yeah, that is all in the past.
Mr. House, is the game plan going to change? Because we saw a lot of kicking in the game against Tonga. They have a couple of good, strong centers. They run good to the line, regular line quite often, as what I've seen for 2 games. Is our game plan going to change, or are you going to?
I'd be very silly to tell you the game plan, wouldn't I? Before we play on Saturday. No, we have to. I keep saying it. We have to play a Romanian style of rugby, and we will keep trying to play this, and we will keep trying to improve this, and hopefully, if we do, or when we do, when we get to the World Cup, we will be playing a style of rugby that suits Romania, and I think that's the most important thing.
Da, sigur. Avem și un preparator fizic bun, care ne ajută să progresăm de la săptămână la săptămână. Ne bagă în formă prin exercițiile lui și eu zic că suntem în progres față de anul trecut.
I think the main challenges right now are just fix the little errors that we've had more than anything. That's what we need to focus on. 2 games now we've played and we've had good systems, just some small lapses in our own game. So that's definitely the main thing that we need to fix.
Is the difference between the players who play the game in Canada and those who play overseas in higher level leagues, is it visible? Is it an area that you seem that you have to be concerned, and that's where the cracks might appear?
it's an area that we're always concerned about. I mean, if you get a guy like Warren Gatlin for Wales bemoaning the Welsh club system, who are fully professional, about preparing them for test matches, you know, what do you say? I mean, you know, our club level is nowhere near anything like that, and we are asking players to play test match rugby. There's a huge gulf. It's not so much in the fitness or the strength, it's around the speed of thought, it's around the reactions, that sort of thing. I think we've got some outstanding players in Canada who could grace professional teams throughout the world, but they don't get the opportunity because Canada players don't get access like players in other countries, because we're classed as a developed country. So our players are, you know, held back because of that, and because we don't get that competition. You know, the only time we get competition is these test matches in November and June. And what people in other countries don't possibly realise is that sometimes when you come to these sort of test matches, you've got to take players who may not be ready, or they are not ready for test match rugby, but unless you try them out in these sorts of games, you're not going to know if they are when you get to World Cups, etc. So there's challenges around that. So to answer your first question, there is a number of players I think who could foot it in Europe. The gap between what the players who play in Europe and the players who play in Canada is massive.
Well, it's quite similar. Romania, although they have this, say, team, the Wolves, that plays in the European competition, that comes up to bridge a gap to an extent.
I would give my right arm to have a Canadian team in the Amlin Cup or something like that. Maybe not my right arm, but... Yeah.
Da. O așteptăm. Ne dorim. Ne dorim victoriile și într-un final iată că ele vin. Să nu ne așteptăm deja de la meciul cu Canada să avem o victorie foarte ușoară. Ne dorim victorie, intrăm să câștigăm și să mergem mai departe. Important, cum am spus, este să ne pregătim zi de zi, oră de oră, ceas de ceas, pentru ceea ce va fi Cupa Mondială 2015. Important e pentru noi ca anul viitor să participăm și să arătăm o nouă față a echipei României în meciurile din februarie și martie pentru 2015, meciurile de calificare, și sperăm cu ajutorul acestor meciuri pe care le aranjăm în noiembrie și cu IRB-ul pe care îl organizăm în iunie să creștem de la an și să arătăm o altă față a echipei României, care deja începe să se contureze altfel și să fie mult mai vizibilă. Iată jucători cu încredere mult mai mare, care știu să gireze meciul mai bine, care știu să se adapteze și care într-un final aduc victoria.
I have a question for both coaches. Each of you belongs to a great rugby nations, New Zealand and Wales. You know very well the coaching at the high level. Now, as a coach of a tier 2 nation, what do you think that would be the better game schedule setup regarding in order for your team to progress, to play on a regular basis with teams from the same tier, or to look for games against the big nations from tier 1?
Okay, go.
For me, you've got to play teams better than you. As Lynn said before, you know, we are just slightly above Romania. It's only a place now, I think, in the world rankings, or 2 places. But to me, you know, you've got to play teams that are above you in the rankings. You've got to play better teams to expose your systems, etc., to give your players the better quality opposition. And then, you know, you obviously have to perform against them. So, but then by the same token, you also have to do that to teams below you as well, because, you know, they're looking for the same thing. So I think it's got to be a balance. We at the moment get one tier 1 country a year, which, you know, we are trying to get more than that. This year we had who did we have? Ireland. We had Ireland this year, and we play Scotland next year. So, you know, those are our tier 1 countries. Yeah, we would like more than that. Obviously, they have massive. You know, their program is all sorted out right until I think about 2022 or something. So I don't see many changes happening in that area as quickly. But what I do think is that Tier 2 countries have got a lot closer together as far as, ability, and I think the top Tier 2 countries are a lot closer to the bottom Tier 1 countries now than what they used to be. There's still a massive gap to the top 5 or 6 Tier 1 countries though, I think.
There's not a lot more to say. With the problem in Romania is we don't play Tier 1 nations. We don't have that opportunity. But we've had the opportunity this November to play against Tonga, Canada and Fiji, and for Romania at this moment in time is probably the right standard because of the level above us that they are at the moment. So we are being tested against the better nations in rugby, and I think that is always important. As Kieran said, it is about testing everything that you're trying to do with the teams and putting it against the best opposition or quality opposition that you can, because it asks the right questions of the players, and I think that's always a possibility. If I can just go back to the game plan, we have got a different game plan. We're going to keep 15 players on the field. That's a new game plan, this. Okay.
Thank you.
Do you think in 1 week the discipline around the rugby has changed? This is an ancient problem.
Yeah,
I hope so. I hope you get it.
We have to. It's not possible to play international rugby with 13 players on the field. It's just not possible to play again. And we were very fortunate we had the result at the end. But it's just not possible.